Well, good. Hello, Mama. What you doing? Oh, you want to come up? You can come up. Feels crooked, but I don't think it is. Welcome, everyone. Hey, how's everyone doing on TikTok? How's everyone doing on Instagram? Sorry that's so crooked. I definitely did not realize that. I would not have left it like that. Sometimes when I set the cameras up, and unfortunately I am constantly having to redo setup because I teach classes. I have whole school running here. I have appointments and groups coming through here. Sometimes when I set them up, it looks one way. And then when I hit the live button, it just takes on a life form of its own. Okay. So if ever it is ridiculously crooked, it's not because I wasn't trying. Switch up on me. Welcome everyone also on YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium. Good to see everyone. If you guys could give this video a thumbs up, give it some hearts, drop a comment letting me know where you're tuning in from. That would be greatly appreciated. And please do share this video because I'm sure you have some people who follow your social media who would love to hear from their deceased loved ones, pets, angels, guides, ancestors tonight. Okay, this is a loving thing that you can do. God bless you. Goodness. You okay? Mama. This is a loving thing that you could do for people, okay, to share this with them. So please do. Yeah. And we have a couple quick announcements while everyone tunes in. But tonight is all spirit messages. So you guys are going to be able to hear from your ancestors, your deceased loved ones, pets, your guides. If you have a specific question that you would like to ask someone on the other side, you can go ahead and start dropping those questions now. If you don't have anything specific you want to ask spirit, you can just leave it open-ended. And so I will tell you what message is coming through for you. We can get as specific or vague as we want to, okay, with these questions. And it is unlimited tonight. I can't do that all the time, but I can tonight, which means you can ask multiple questions, receive multiple messages. And with each one, though, you do need to drop a $10 donation. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. Okay, so we do have Kim, my beautiful producer, is with us tonight. She has been out of the loop a little bit. Diana has been doing all the production for the last month. So be patient while Kim gets back in the swing of things. We'll be seeing more of her in the next few months. And she's going to be taking your questions, your payments over here from Instagram and TikTok, moving everything here to YouTube. If you want to do everything in one place, you can just go to YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium. It's also the best way to support me. So please do check my YouTube channel out. They actually pay me. They pay me on time. They, for the most part, don't cripple me out in the algorithm. And I have that problem with TikTok and Instagram. Those channels just won't move. They don't move. They haven't moved in years. And, it's not always the greatest way to support me. I'll just leave it at that. I do want to make a couple quick announcements before we get into all this today. So we do have coming up on Wednesday. This week, Wednesday, I have a test show called Something Unexpected is Coming Your Way. I'm going to tell you what it is and when. So if you guys give that show great engagement, I will add it to the 2026 show lineup. So mark your calendars. That's going to be back here on all these platforms, 9 p.m. Eastern. And we also have coming up on Thursday Coffee with Your Angels. You guys absolutely love that show, and I'm so happy that you do. So on Thursday, again, 9 p.m. Eastern, back here on all these channels, I'll be telling you whatever is the most important healing message you need to hear at this time. We're channeling angel energy, and you can also ask specific questions about different areas of your life where you're seeking healing currently for yourself or for others. You could start getting your early questions in now for that show as well. That is going to be unlimited. And we have Margin Manor Winery, and that's the last announcement I want to make tonight because I do want to go ahead and start getting right into these readings. But I will be out at Margin Manor Winery. My pre-booking may be full. I'm not sure. There may still be a spot left. But I am going to be out there with 2 other readers from my Ivy League Psychic Academy for our first Ivy League Psychic Fair of the season. So you can pre-book with those readers now. We also take walk-ins, so check it out. This is going to be April 26th. All right, and then we'll be back in June, and we'll be back in October. Okay. I can't believe it. My hair is working with me today. I'm not going to breathe. We're going to knock on wood. You want to come up here? Come on up. You can come on up. Take a ton of videos tonight. If my hair stays like this, I'll take my videos for the next month. You want to come up? All right. Ezzy is complaining and meandering around and not sure what she wants out of life right now. So we're going to work with her. Do want to give a quick shout out also to my YouTube members before we start. Deb Basil, Anna, Annie D, Crystal Henhock, Yolanda Fisher, Chaley, Lumen Grove, Angie Johnson, Jennifer Cole, Jennifer Barone, Abby Hicks, Stella Marie, Kim Elizabeth, Denise Bennett, Jayla Beans, Edgar Velardes, Melissa S, Christine Watts, Miami Heat 305-ish, CJG, Shauna Dempsey, Demetris, Language Through Connection, Deanna Marie, Murray D, Tristan Marion, Me Love 716, Andrea M, and Vanessa. Thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate you guys a ton. And if you want to become a YouTube member, switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy the Medium, hit the join button, and it'll show you the 3 different tiers of membership options. My members receive monthly perks like a mini class, a horoscope for the whole month, private email read, which literally pays for the entire subscription itself, weekly spirit messages, an Ask Ivy exclusive show, and more. We have a ton of fun. All right, so check it out. It's a great way to support the channel. If you guys need to book a reading, a party, or a psychic fair with me, I do work internationally. It's a super simple self-booking system. So go on to Ivy Rivera psychicmedium.com. Again, it's Ivy Rivera psychicmedium.com for my classes and my readings. Hope to see you guys. All right, what are we doing here? Ready? Okay. These pens better work. I have a shortage lately. I'm not sure why or when that happened. I feel like everything dies at the same time. Ran out of paper at the same time, ran out of pens, all the light bulbs go out at the same time. We ran out of cat food, everything all at once, right? All within a 24-hour period. Welcome, everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a tiny no airwalk. This is my All Spirit Messages show where you drop a $10 donation and I deliver out to you whatever message is coming through from spirit at this time. This could be your angels, your guides, your deceased loved ones or pets, your ancestors. I don't know where it's going to come from unless you ask a specific question, which is also an option. So once you drop your $10 donation, you can include a question about a specific spirit you would like to hear from. So for example, you could say, you know, I want to hear from my grandma Elena. And you can even get more specific than that. I want her to give me some advice on my current relationship. Okay, so you keep it as vague or as specific as you prefer. Esmeralda Marie Rivera will be joining us tonight. Can you say hi, Ezzy? Okay, she just woke up from her nap, so she's a little loopy and excited. She's super cute today. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get into today's messages. If you prefer to do this privately or you want to gift this to someone else, you can also go up onto my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, and click on all spirit messages, or it may just say spirit message. Okay. And that'll come to you directly through email. All right. Who is up first? Maraid. So Maraid said, hi, Ivy. Does Spirit have any messages about my relationship with Nate? Okay, so let's tap in with your relationship guide. Any other guides, any other spirits coming through, messages about her relationship with Nate? You have a grandmother coming through mom's side of the family who said, basically, don't worry about this. The best thing that you could do with this is to not think about it or like cut it out. It's almost like cut it out, like don't give it attention. Because when you're giving it attention, you're sort of manipulating it. You're tainting it in a way. You're not getting his authentic self or energy. You can't see the true flow of the relationship because humans read energy, period. They do. So if you're putting out a lot of attention type energy, okay, toward someone or a relationship, you are influencing the entire thing with that. It would be the equivalent of saying, I'm not going to worry about it, and then having cyclical patterns of negative thought and taking an opportunity from what was high vibrational potential to low vibrational, okay, and kind of no potential. So everything starts with our thoughts. And what she's talking about here is knowing how to say, I've put enough into this. Now let's see what he puts into this or doesn't. I think that he is also, she just says very immature or very young. So he could be quite young, but he reads as not having as much focus on this as you do. And it's because he's very distracted with other things that look a little childlike. And that's not to say that those things are bad or that that's unacceptable. It's just a fact. Okay, so your focus on your relationships right now, your relationship guide is also stepping in with this message. Your focus on your relationships right now, including but not exclusive to Nate, is very much about intimacy. Your focus is about having a desire to increase and elevate relationships, right? To have them in your life in a purposeful way, or don't let the door hit you on the way out, or this just isn't for me, or that's good, I've seen enough, thank you, I'm going to set a boundary here now. You want to make those decisions yesterday. And in dealing with people, especially like Nate, who are easily influenced by energy or picking up on your energy and your vibes, don't always know how to come at a relationship from a very mature place because they are immature or young. You know, they're going to take longer in showing you whether or not that's a relationship that you want to keep for a while or you're going to give it a send off. So if in all your relationships right now, you're hoping for something more meaningful, we just want to remember not to put that on the individual. We can manifest and want more meaningful relationships in our life without wanting this person to be a more meaningful partner. No. I don't care if it's you or someone else or a toad that lives under the rock in my front lawn. I don't care. I don't care where it's coming from. This is mastering the craft of manifestation through giving the universe your order, okay, what it is that you're claiming and in alignment with, but not controlling all the details or how it works out or with whom it works out. Okay, so try to think of it that way and see if you don't get an answer as to whether or not this is someone who's going to be chosen by you to stick around. Okay, he also seems to be distracted with toys or games. So again, no shade. I mean, maybe he likes toys and games, you know, a lot of adults do, but it's kind of like he likes them more than people. Okay. And so it's kind of like, okay. You know, this just may be someone who, I don't know, your grandmother's just kind of like, don't bank on someone who's this childlike. You know, someone who can survive for extended periods of time without social interaction or actual sex because they're watching videos of it, or they are okay not having any real interactions outside of like video games and people there. It makes you wonder a little bit, okay, about their mental health and their stability and their maturity level. I'll leave it at that. I feel like you're very different people, okay? That doesn't make it bad, it doesn't make it wrong. Just don't put it up on a pedestal or give it more attention than what it deserves. Thank you so much, Mairead. We're going to move on to another one. This is, and your grandmother loves you very much. She said you look like her right through here. The lips, the nose, the eyes, the jawline. Anna Pekka said, spirit messages, any messages regarding future love? What is happening with love tonight? Okay. They're trying to think of when the love show is. I don't know. Anyways, all right, Anna Pekka, spirit, any messages for her on future love? Future love? Future love. You do have somebody coming in who's stepping off a boat. Now, in my symbol base, this can be about marriage potential. This can also just represent a merging of lifestyles, maybe cohabitation. This could look like engagement. This could look like shared income, but it's definitely an exchange on both an intellectual and emotional level that brings increased intimacy. Okay. And I'm not talking about sex with intimacy. I'm talking about different levels of intimacy with different human beings that we can reach. And it elevates both of you 2-3 levels. It's significant enough. Okay. Now, the image of this person also stepping off a boat can mean that they like boats. You guys like boats. As soon as you get together, you're kind of like hanging out on boats. You're renting boats. You date a lot on the boat. Whatever it is. Okay. Just boats, just marinas, waterfront, restaurants and bars and a lot of patios and a lot of like, not on the beach, but like literally in the water or out on boats. Okay. So kind of two different things there, but I do think that, I just heard Mariner's Catch. And so I don't know if that's going to be like a first date. I mean, and I don't always recommend going out with a guy on a boat, okay, that you don't know really well, but I do feel like you could be, it's almost like Mariner's Catch is the name of a restaurant or something. I mean, it's like we're having steak or lobster and, you know, we're talking about the water an awful lot, or we're in a position to like, we've both got wine and we're like looking at the water. So it creates a certain amount of like fluidity and comfort when you can be in nature also. You know, without doing something really kind of corny or super cheap, like let's go hiking and we just, you know, we're meeting for the first date, you know, so it's got that high end combination of like, I'm grown, you're going to have to invest in this if you want to take me out. And we have that element of nature. I like it a lot. I also find that the way you guys are both talking looks a little bit distracted. Like your eyes are over here, like he's kind of looking out at the water and then he's looking at a bird and then he's looking. Don't misread this person for being disinterested just because he doesn't hold a lot of eye contact. And I can't prescribe a diagnosis. I'm not saying he's neurospicy. However, we do find that with people who are on the spectrum in some way, right, neurodivergent in any capacity, they do tend to look around a lot. And then when you're talking, okay, so he's talking, he's looking around, he's looking around. When you're talking, he focuses, okay, very intensely on you, trying to process what you're saying, trying to be engaged. Just because he may struggle with it doesn't mean he isn't interested. And you also seem to be fluttering around quite a lot. Okay, so keep it light, keep it easy, taller. This really comes to fruition fully, I want to say between 2 and 3 years out from now, where you guys may be choosing to lock this down. Love it. Love it. All right, let's move on to another one. Bethany Renner. So this is just open. Any spirit coming through for Bethany? What do we have for Bethany? You have a grandfather coming through. I want to say mom's side of the family, a bit taller. I feel like you have another grandfather who was not as tall. Like by far, there's quite a difference here. We're talking about the difference between 5'8" and 6'2". But I have them coming through. Sorry, guys, I'm fasting. My stomach is so freaking loud. It's ridiculous. So, I have him coming in here, and there's mention of the other grandfather also keeping an eye on you in regards to you working real hard on something right now. And he's proud of you. You may have been chipping away or plugging away or nose to the grind for the last 2 to 4 months. And you're saying, where's the payout? Is this going to pay out? It's sort of like this better pay out. Am I getting there? Are we there yet? It's this mentality of I've been hammering away at this. If you were making something like, I don't know, a horseshoe, or if you were working with iron or something, it's like I'm banging on this and I'm forming it into the shape that I want, the design that I want. I'm putting it back in the fire. I'm fine tuning it. I'm polishing it up. I'm molding it. It's like I'm welding it. It's like you're some type of a welder in your life right now. Now, you may not just feel as though you've been doing this with work and career. You may also feel like you're doing it with your day-to-day lifestyle, your resources and investments. This could also be relationships for you. Yes, as he agrees. In particular, the way relationships have been positively or negatively affecting your emotional state, your energy levels, your ability to show up in your own life the way you really want to. Okay. So there's a lot of fine tuning going on here. And I just want to say that they're very proud of you. There's the sense of you coming to the end of the short grandfather said the end of your rope. I don't think it's that bad. I think he's screwing around with you, but I think that you are maybe getting a little impatient. We saw that in the beginning of the reading, maybe being like, am I done? Sometimes a growth spurt or a healing phase or alchemy from pain to power, whatever you want to call it. Okay. It can take a minute, it typically takes a year or two, and it's not to say that during that time, you're not going to have any nice moments and breakthroughs and prosperity and abundance. Heck no. The entire time, every single time you think right, you change from reaction to, reception or processing. You say no, okay? You set a boundary, you hold line. Every single time you do that, you start receiving blessings and benefits in your life. So, see the big picture. It's not about getting to the finish line. They're really proud of you. But it does feel like you're becoming someone who is going from hammering away at the work you've been doing in your life to dropping the mallet of judgment. Is that what it's called? A mallet? A mallet of judgment? What is that the judge has? It's like I'm dropping the mallet of judgment and I am mastering this, like who I am and what I expect to receive back, and I won't accept anything less. And I kind of pity the fool, really, okay, who's reading you wrong right now and for the next 3 months. But you're going to get everything you've been working for and everything that you've been wanting, not because you're sitting by passively wanting it, but because you're actively working toward it by saying no to other things. Brilliant. Thank you, Bethany. And thank you, Grandpas. Okay, Anna Pekka says, do you see people being receptive to the one-on-one intuitive healing work I want to start offering? Intuitive healing work, receptivity, spirit, what do you have to say about this? You have a grandmother coming through mom's side of the family who would have actually done this. Now, I don't think she did it in the same way that you're doing it. She said it's not that fashion, but it would have been her possibly also great grandma playing cards. The grandmother's playing cards. They weren't playing cards. They were having seances. They were doing tarot readings, but they didn't want to be burned at the stake. Okay. So they also went to church, like well-behaved women were forced to do, right, for generations. So this runs in your blood, but they've never done it in the way that you're about to do it. So it goes great grandma, it goes grandma, I'm sure it goes back further than that. And what grandma's talking about here is that she would have been a prayer warrior. So sometimes when women can't fully express the intuition that they have running through them and these phenomenal channels from spirit and healing abilities, including psychic surgery, which you may have a touch of here. When they can't do that, but they're trapped in church and systems, they will take on something like a prayer circle or a Bible study, or they'll find other outlets for it. Okay. And I feel like that was something she did, being able to pray over people, and then they would receive things like spontaneous healings and be like, what prayer did you say? It's not about the prayer. It's not about the prayer. When you channel healing energy, when you are that powerful, especially level 4 empaths, as she was, as you are, you can automatically remove, if it's not contracted, a disease from someone's body, for example. You can remove blocks and obstacles, a husband who's abusing them, or manifest money and resources to come their way when they need it the most, right? Protection over their child, whatever it is. It's about you remembering your roots. That's going to be the next step in the process. And as long as you are remembering your roots, getting more in touch with how this has come down through your bloodline and how you're sort of taking it up to, I guess I could say the next level. I want to say the more modern day, presentation of your healing abilities. Yes, it's going to be received. It's really important, though, that we are always in alignment with what we're really supposed to be doing, with these types of things, so that, how do I want to say this? So that you're not coming out in a generic manner, just sort of duplicating, regurgitating, right? Replicating what everyone else has done. So it's like, well, this is what people are doing, so I'm going to do it too. Or I saw so-and-so do this, so I'll just do this. No, like, do your own thing. Okay. Be authentic. But yes, it'll be well received. Thank you, Anna Pekka. Who's up next? Christine Watts, did you just drop me $100? I think you screwed up, my love. Although I'll take your $100. Let me tell you, she's fancy feast like a beast. Okay. But I think maybe your decimal point is over by 1 or 2 there. So you guys may want to check that. I'll let you sort it out. Okay. So Mackenzie M98 says, I've seen 222 and 333 a lot the last 2 days. What messages does Spirit have for what's coming in? Okay, so we've seen 222 and 333 in the last 48 hours. This is for Mackenzie. Spirit, what do you have to say about this? A lot of this is coming from your guides, and I want to say a gentleman watching over you, feels like uncle, brother type energy. So I'm going to have to go more with uncle on him, and a grandfather. I feel like I'm leaning heavily on mom's side of the family with the grandfather, with the uncle, dad side. So what is going on with this? Well, and why would they be sending it in patterns of 3? Okay, here's something really important to understand about numerology. And you can check out my numerology course up on my website, to get the basics. Because angel numbers are not a real thing, Nothing. None of that is real. Numerology is an ancient language. And numerology people will receive important number patterns when you're ready for change, a shift, a deadline is coming in, It's directional, always, always. Now, 222 is about soulmate energy. It's about you interacting with someone who you have a contract with, in particular, a work contract. So working with soulmates is not always about a romantic connection as much as it is about the nature of that contract, which is, teamwork, a work contract, getting something done. It has past life history. In astrology, they would call this South Node. It has future potential, which is North Node in astrology, meaning in this life working together and possibly in future lives. Okay, there's a lot of depth there. The fact that it's coming through in a set of 3 is about, and this is coming from your guides today, it's about divinity. It's about you being within the right time. It's about you being in divine timing, okay, essentially. So I like to think of this as being in alignment with your life contract, meaning what you came to Earth to do, all right? So you're in that period of time. Then we see 333 coming up. Now, 3 is in itself about divine timing, about being in alignment with, you could say, the Trinity, or I like to say the universe, your higher mind, spirit, right? Everything is in alignment. And you're really moving in the right direction. So this is about knowing that you're going the right way. You should be focused in order to get there and complete the cycle to receive the highest blessings, the most prosperity and abundance. For a while, you're going to want to pay attention to other types of partnerships, other avenues where you could incorporate teamwork. It doesn't all have to be like soulmates or soul tribe members. While we do see some of that here, obviously, it's also about knowing that this is a time for you to talk with other people, to partner up, to build things with others. This could also have to do a lot with communications. So I think it's an important time for you to feel as though you are truly in alignment with your life contract, your higher mind, the universe, doing what you came here to do for a while, and exploring a lot of those options for advancement through partnerships with others. Love it. Have a good time with that. Does not happen all the time. And as soon, and this is just a general message for everyone, as soon as those numbers start to switch up, or you're like, wonder why that number pattern switched, start watching for another one, because new directions will be coming in for the next phase. All right, Manny is up next, right? Yeah. So Manny is up next. Hi, Ivy. Is there anything that my guides would recommend me doing differently in my daily meditations to improve my communications with them? I heard cut back. So this is probably the most common question I get asked from like my psychic mediumship students and clients who are trying to get in touch with their guides in a meaningful way where they aren't missing messages from them all the time. They're not having to outsource to a medium or a tarot reader. And the most common way people go about this is through meditation. However, guides tend to not show up a lot in meditations. They can show up to sort of present who they are, or if they have an important message. But in the meantime, because we are working with our guides 24/7 in the mundane, while you're awake, while you're asleep, in every freaking dimension there is, just constantly, while you're having a human experience, that set of 5 guides that is connected to you. And if you don't know your guides, there's a class up on my website called Meet Your Guides, okay? But those 5 guides that are appointed to you, they're working with you literally all the time. So going into a deep state of meditation, or even just some practice where you're constantly going in to touch base with them and receive messages from them, a lot of the time it seems like it's a miss. Like, they already told you, or like, we already discussed this, or like, I was already there, or like, we just did this last night in your sleep, or like, whatever it is, and then people get disappointed because I think that when they go into a state of meditation, the guides should be there like ready to talk about a bunch of things. Like they've got a list, they've got a to-do, you know, they've got a whole file of things. And it really doesn't work that way because the relationship is so constant. It's so fluid. It's so much deeper than that. Meditation, in my opinion, is best used for self-development. It's great if you need to connect with spirits from time to time, or, you know, you want to check in with your guides, sure, but it's really not necessary. It doesn't, if, for example, in my psychic mediumship course, we don't even meditate one time, ever. And I know that the trainings out there internationally are based on meditation. Holy, we don't even do it once. It's completely unnecessary. It's great, again, for self-development. It's great for healing. I would still be careful even with that, getting too far out into the deep waters, okay? It's not always good for people. But the best way to talk to your guides is with your morning cup of coffee or tea. And you just ask them these 3 questions every morning before you start your day. You say, what pitfalls can I avoid today, if any? What should I be focused on today? And how can I be of service today? Okay. Yeah, that is the most common question about guides. Like, why do I go into a state of meditation? I set this up. I took the time. It's supposed to be working, because meditation really, in my opinion, just doesn't work. It just isn't. It's not where it's at. It's shifting from the left side of your brain to the right side of your brain, okay, which is a topic for a different day. But okay, let's go ahead and get into this. Carrie Watson, 2907. Carrie Watson. Hi, I sent a Venmo, but without a question. Can we focus on potential love? Maybe Phil? Maybe. Okay. Just maybe Phil. Okay, love or Phil. Okay, Spirit, what do you have to say about her and Phil? You have a grandmother coming through who's very stoic. You know, she's very upright. She's very sophisticated in the way that she's educated and bites her tongue most of the time because she's wise enough to know not to waste her energy on a lot of people. Her presentation of information and knowledge and wisdom is very like, you could take it or not. Even with her son, even with, you know, her daughter, her grandchildren, even then, where it's like, oh God, I pray to God they take my advice. You know what I mean? It's still presented like, I'm simply letting you know. I hope this is useful information for you and you pick up these tools and apply them. I'm going to let it go. I'm not going to worry about how it lands. I think that your relationship with Phil needs to be very much like that. Okay? It needs to be very stoic and sophisticated and almost like a wise elder, right? She said not elderly, but okay. She doesn't want to be painted with that brush, and neither do you. It's about staying out of immaturity, though, because sometimes in relationships, especially if there's limerence, we could feel anxious and a little obnoxious and a little like overthinking and, oh my God, butterflies in the stomach. That is a dysregulated nervous system. Okay, that roller coaster ride is not mature. It's not healthy. It's not normal. It is a sign of a bigger problem. And I think that we want to remember that we should approach relationships with others, all people, but she's, you know, answering your question about Phil, of course, but that we should be approaching relationships understanding that no one is an extension of us, okay, including our children, including our beloved pets, including our lovers or spouses, our parents. No one is an extension of us. And knowing that and acting within the relationship as though you apply that, okay, means always having a boundary line that you're not willing to cross. And I feel like in this relationship, there's been some inconsistency. So whether he is sometimes ghosty, he is sometimes all in, and then he is looking detached. He is sometimes really engaging with you, and I think it's coming from a place where he wants your attention, your affection, your energy. And then he could be very disinterested in giving that back because his cup is full. Whatever it is, whatever it is, it requires that you going forward know where that boundary line is and you stay on your side. You don't overreach. You don't give him too much emotionally. You don't think about him too much. You don't wonder where he's at and will he come back around? Will he give you what you want or need or what he promised he would? None of that. None of that. There's a mastery that you need to step into here that essentially says energetically and literally to Phil, you will receive from me in the direct proportion to which you have given and nothing more. You know, and if you drop off, I'm not coming after you. Stay out there and keep your door shut. You know what I mean? You could sit on the porch and like a puppy until he needs his next fill. It's which is hilarious. I can't believe she said Phil. It's freaking hilarious. That's freaking hilarious. She's hilarious. She may have dry humor, but like she's freaking hilarious. Okay. Like it's all intellectual. It's like, how do I want to say this? He's like a puppy when he wants something from you, you know? So like, just don't chase it. All right. Mentally, emotionally, energetically, literally. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. We have Edgar is next. What messages would Spirit like me to know right now? I'm trying to stay focused on getting my clinical license, but also celebrate myself and enjoy my blessings. I can feel more blessings. Is there a part 2 to this? There's AR is all I can see, Kim. Are coming? Okay. So Edgar, thank you. Oh, Kim, you know, I just wanted to remind you that it may be easier. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I was going to say something about the timestamps, but according to Diana, we can't really get them when we're live. I don't know. I don't really care how you do it, but whatever. I was going to just suggest you take a shortcut and doing it while we're going because it may be easier on you, but I'm not sure that's accurate. So, okay. So moving on to Edgar. Edgar, what spirits are coming through for Edgar? Talking about his blessings, his licensing, or if you guys have any other messaging coming in about this. I just heard don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. It's almost as though you're overthinking things to such a degree where it's like, it's important to be aware. It's important to be self-aware. It's important to be conscientious of what is happening, especially in regards to like changes, you know, I'm very present. But it's also important not to sort of hyper fixate on it or overanalyze it in any way. There are some things coming in that could make you feel like you're steering off path a little bit. They're kind of, it's like I'm veering off. It's like there's an exit. I was not going to take this exit. You're on the thruway and you're like, what did that say? You catch a sign and it's like no other exits for the next 48 minutes. And you're like, where am I? You know, I'm in no man's land. And God knows if I don't take this exit, I can't go to the bathroom. I could run out of gas. It's like, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, it's like, I need to check my phone, you know, another hour, my God. So I get this feeling that you have a couple too, okay, in particular, different instances coming in that you could feel are veering you off your path. And what Spirit wants you to do right now is not be so hyper focused or fixated on this is where I'm going, this is where I'm supposed to be headed, this is where it's meant to take me. I've been working really hard at this and I just want to make sure I'm receiving, you know, my blessings. I'm going in the right direction to increase my abundance. Sometimes blessings occur. Sometimes karma simply occurs. Sometimes we derail and we're supposed to take that off ramp. and allow it to redirect you into some interesting, for you, uncharted territory. You may feel a little bit like that wasn't the plan, or I'm a little bit lost in the sauce here. And I don't want to get wrapped up in this confusion, but it could involve love. It could involve a distraction in romance. It could involve another person kind of pulling you over that way. And I think it's worth examining. You could find that for the next 4 to 6 months, you, instead of being focused on all the things you thought you would, become somewhat consumed with something else. I don't want to say someone else because that's creepy and weird and we don't want to do that. Okay. But something else, a shared space, okay, with romance itself, with this other person in particular. I do think that you are, how do I want to say this? It's like you're entering into a period of maturity where you have a lot to share, you have a lot to give, and you've already spent a lot of time focused the last 2 to 3 years in particular, but the last year potently on yourself. So it's like self advancement. I heard self correction. So you've been doing some work, maybe shadow work too, on yourself. And you've gotten to a really healthy place. Now it's time for you to share that. Okay. So don't be worried about derailing. Derailments are not always derailments. Okay. We have another one coming in here. This is for Kim Elizabeth. Kim Elizabeth says, where should I be focusing my energy right now? I feel like I'm all over the place. Focus all over the place. Okay. Spirit, what guide? Okay. So you have a grandmother who comes in here, would have quilted or sewn. Maybe this is crocheting or knitting as well. She had a lot of blankets to show for it. Okay. She had a lot of things to show for it, like larger pieces. And a little plump. Okay. She was a little plump. Or she had big boobs. I'm not sure which, but it's like kind of bigger all through here a little bit. But you have another one coming through who's sort of the opposite of her, where it's like she's quite short or small or like petite. Okay. She's petite. So you have grandmothers coming in who are talking to you about recuperating your energy. You seem stretched too thin because you're giving too much time, attention, energy, which are resources. Okay. This could also be affection onto others. But these are all family members. So this is children who aren't children anymore. This is maybe maternal energy, because we've got like her talking about her daughter. Two other males in your life. So maybe you're doing this with like your father, or you're doing this with, essentially anyone who is family or like family to you. You want to be careful that you aren't, how do I say this, thinking that their stuff is your stuff, thinking that it's your job to like figure things out for them, file things for them, do paperwork or online work for them, make sure that they have sent things in, make sure that they have dotted the I's, crossed the T's, done the things that they need to do. This is making sure that you are pulling back, knowing your lane and knowing how to stay in it. Okay. So you are spending too much time literally with them, but it's also spending too much attention, focus, energy on their life, their details, the things they need to do or get done. And it's like, why are you even thinking on these things, much less doing these things for them or participating or discussing these things with them, So essentially the last 10 to 12 years, maybe even 13, something happened 13 years ago that was a wake-up call for you in this area, but I still don't think you've done all the changes. The last 10 to 12 years, you've stretched yourself too thin in having your hands in your mind in everyone else's business. And now you're needing to pull out of that. I always say, it's hard to back that bus up. It is really hard to pull out of that because you've got all these different cycles. It's like I'm juggling all these different balls. I got all these hamsters. Hey, you got like a whole collection of hamsters. You got like 12 of them, and they're all on wheels, just running, right? Representing you in these different areas. But it's like, how do I get off the wheel? You just stop. You make lists of where you're over giving. You know darn well you shouldn't be putting your nose up in all that, right? And all these people who've gotten used to expecting it from you, they feel entitled or privileged to it. They're not going to stop asking for it. They're full on expecting it. You're going to have to pull out. Okay. And that's not easy. That takes the lists, and then next time stopping and creating new habits and patterns. And then when they come to you and they're sort of asking for it or pressuring you for it or throwing a temper tantrum or demanding it or pouting or shit's falling apart, whatever, okay, you don't re-engage. You simply let it go. Let them handle their own stuff. That's where I feel like you're spending the most amount of wasted energy, okay? So you should be focusing more on you, on what you want to build, on what you want to create. This includes money, resources, okay? Maybe side hustle, career, travel, creativity. There's a lot more that you want to do. And there's no room for that. There's no energy for that, right? So you could pop out in a year from now, like looking like a completely different person. And I mean, literally, physically even, okay? Looking like a completely different person. Very interesting. We are going to move on to another one. Thank you, Kim. Next one up is Edgar. You guys, this is unlimited. And so that means that you guys can ask to hear from a specific spirit. You can even get specific on whatever question it is that you have for that spirit. For example, you could say, I want to hear from my grandma Henrietta, and I want her to talk about my current love partnership. Okay. You can also just leave it open-ended. So you're dropping a $10 donation and you are just waiting to receive whatever it is that spirit wants to say to you today. And if you want to do this privately, you can go onto my website, Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com, and click on spirit message. Please, everyone, do share this video right now. I'm sure there's someone who follows you on social media who needs to see this. And please give it a thumbs up. If you are here on YouTube, thank you so much. Please hit that subscription button and also hype this vid. Also, if you guys could drop me a comment of any kind, it would be greatly appreciated. Letting me know how this message resonates with you or where you're tuning in from. We're going to move on to another one. This is from Edgar. Does my deceased cousin, Patty, have any messages for me? Always nice to hear from her. Patty, for Edgar. I have to put my cream on. I was complaining about this the last couple shows. I started using retinol, and apparently retinol burns your skin off. I didn't really do any research. It was gifted to me. And my skin is finally growing back. It's a horrible, horrible experience. Also, thank you, Deanna Marie, for sending me an email on how to apply retinol. I haven't gotten to read through it yet, but you guys bear with me. Apparently, this lasts 2 to 3 weeks, so you guys will see me having to stop a lot to apply lube to my face. All right, so Edgar from Patty. Sorry about that. Edgar from Patty. Patty? What do you have to say to Edgar? She said that you're funny and that you're sweet and that you've never really grown up. Like, you look the same. So I don't know if you're like chubby cheeks as a kid, but she said, like, you know, you look the same. You have a sweet heart, and it's like your heart shows on your face, on your body language, the way you dress, you know, on the outside. That you're one of these people, like a teddy bear, like I could see your love on the outside, and you never hide it. Not that you could. She's kind of teasing you here. I feel like sometimes you try to put on like a grown-up face, right? Or you're mature, or you're like, I'm a man, you know? And it's like, I don't know. It just sort of love radiates out of you, and it's in your eyes, you know, it's in your smile, it's in your cheeks, it's in your skin, it's in your loving body language, and how you have such a she said she also admires, because she may have been a little high strung at times, or maybe a little walled off toward different people, but it's like you have a very open energy. You have a very, she said, I admire your ability to, it's almost like make eye contact and make people really feel heard, you know, and you're so receptive of others. I think it was something that, you know, she could have worked on a little bit, but she didn't have the same level of interest, right, in other people. And that's something else she said is beautiful about you, is like you genuinely have interest in other people and how they're doing, and elevating, okay, elevating on a sort of collective level, right? People up to the next higher vibration. And she said that you're fun and you're going to be having more fun. She wants you to think of her in the fun times. You may be going out for like drinks or some, it's like a round on me. I heard someone say the next round is on me. And it's like, it's not champagne. And it's not shots. I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is just like whatever. Maybe you're having one specific kind of drink, you know, where it's like, I better just stick to wine. I don't want to be mixing all these things. That's wise. Okay. But anyways, I feel like someone is getting around on everyone, and this could be a celebration involving you. Where like, so I don't know, somebody takes a bunch of you guys out, okay, from work or something, and you're celebrating. But she wants you to remember that she's there in your moments of celebration. She's also there in your moments of hardship, because, you know, you've had in recent years, the last 2 years in particular, some heavy, hard-hitting, heart-centered, you know, heart stuff going on, where maybe you're like driving in the car and you're listening to, you know, music, and it's kind of heavy and it's dark out and you're just feeling a little bit lost in the sauce of life, you know, like a little forgotten. But she comes and she gives you that love and supports you. Okay. Whether you're high, whether you're low, just know she checks in and she supports you. She's also sending you music. So be listening for her in the songs. She said, just pay attention to the lyrics, because it's like, it's not about the song and it's not about who sent it. It's about the words and the direction that's being given. Okay. So be watching for her more there. It's also talking about your mediumship and this increasing in the bathroom. Our native belief is the porcelain, earth, water, and mirrors are all conductors of communication with the other side. So your clairaudience increasing when you're in the shower, when you're brushing your teeth, you know, things like this, ear ringing. And then she puts thoughts and songs in your head. You'll be hearing from her more in that way. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you, Patty. We're going to move on to Christine Watts. Does my deceased mom and little brother have any messages for me? For Christine, mom and brother messages. When your mom comes through, I feel like you've been stressed. It's like your jaw is wanting to pop, or my jaw is wanting to crack and pop, but it can't. And so the first thing she wants to mention with you is dealing with your stress level in such a way where you're not like grinding your teeth. And I can't prescribe a diagnose, but this could look like dental issues. This could look like TMJ, but essentially grinding the teeth because I am dealing with stress at night when I sleep, instead of properly dealing with it when I'm awake during the day. This could be a prescription here for something like therapy, or talking to a counselor, or doing some, not necessarily just shadow work, but shadow work and releasing things that feel negative and heavy, okay, within your heart, within your head in particular. She's giving a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it how it resonates. And she said that you've got the winter blues. So part of what may be going on if you've been dealing with stress is understanding that the winter blues, aka SAD, I can't prescribe a diagnosis, seasonal affective disorder, is something that bogs you down considerably. And, you know, I have this, I'm saying this as your reader, not as your mom, but like I have this and it peaks right now. Going into spring is the worst time for it. You may want to Google that and check on things like omega-3s, vitamin D, make sure you're combining with vitamin K, getting a lamp, whatever it is that you need, but making sure you're handling it appropriately. Okay, I do have to fix this puzzle on TikTok. When I go over here with your brother, he's coming and giving you a teddy bear, which is kind of funny, because you may have something of his, like a teddy bear. or you may have a collection of them, but I think it's haha, I got it on the first try. You know, a teddy bear. I wasn't gonna sit on you, Mama. I know you're there. Um, a teddy bear doesn't have to look like literally a fuzzy one. Okay, it could be a statue or collectibles of bears. I want to say even bears showing up in your algorithm and things like this. But the symbol of the bear he's giving you here is about a couple different things. First of all, protection. So he just wants you to know he's got your back. He keeps an eye on you. I feel like around the time of his passing, and I don't know if he passed before mom or what's going on, but these feel awfully close together, like within a matter of just a few years. I mean, he's talking 3 to 5. Take it out resonates, but it's almost like you dropped each time. You dropped real heavy. Okay. Oh, his name is Teddy. That's hilarious. I didn't even ask. I'm not like wasn't paying attention to that. I love that. Thank you for that confirmation. So he is a Teddy, right? But he said like your energy level dropped real heavy after their passings, and it may have been a situation where you've struggled to get back up, and you may be like, well, I can't get back to where I was, or I can't get back up to the top. He said, don't worry about that. You don't have to. That's not the point in life. Okay, it's just learning how to be on that level. You know, it's readjusting. It's readjusting. It's not getting back to who you were or where you were or how you used to think or what you used to have. It's just about being in this new energy and making the best of it and elevating there where I am. Okay. So letting go of comparison. He said comparison is the thief of joy. Letting go of comparison. Well, I used to have this, or I used to think this way, or I used to this, you know, this mobility and that character and personality, and I used to have a flair for this. It's like, don't worry about it. It's a great story. It was great. It was great. And when you were there, you had been in a different place before that, right? That you created all of that after having also dropped or changed, or right. It doesn't matter. And at any point you can elevate, and it's not about comparison to where you were, you know. Nor even in the future, he wants you to stay out of mentality of like, well, I have to have this, or I'll be happy when I get this, or I need this to be all right and in order for me to what? To smile, to have joy, right? To have silliness. He wants you to play more. Okay. Just play more. Just be silly and play more. But they both love you very much. He said something about a record on repeat. So I do wonder if he's sending you a song, but it's almost like a record on repeat. And I feel like, what is it? Unchained Melody, the Righteous Brothers. Also, I'm hearing. Yeah, and maybe Roy Orbison or something that feels also like I don't know. He has his own bands, you know, but it felt almost like, I don't want to say Kiss necessarily, but maybe something heavier, you know, like some rock and roll or something. But just be watching for him in the music. And a Dream, I feel like he visits first. They both visit together, and then mom visits on her own. So there'll be a series of 3 dreams, okay, in the next probably 3 to 4 weeks. So be watching for those. They love you very much. And he's giving a white rose, which can mean you didn't have a proper goodbye, or there was a lack of closure with his passing, okay, or that you need some healing right now, which he already discussed. So all of that is the white rose. Thank you, Christina. And thank you for that feedback. Hilarious. His name is Teddy. Hazel is up next. Hazel, what message is coming through for Hazel? From who? Who's here for Hazel? It's like you're opening up a new door. You have a gentleman coming in here who's, well, you can't really tell how tall he is, but I feel like as a kid you would have been like, this guy's like a monster. He's like a giant. He's enormous, right? He probably wasn't that big, but you know, he could be pushing 6 foot. But he's real wide. You know, he's got these big shoulders, and it's not necessarily from like going to the gym. It's just like he's just huge, and he's very soft spoken. He's a real protector. He keeps an eye on you in a paternal way, which is just a protective energy. And feeling like D, like I'm hearing a D sound in his name. But he's making sure that you know that if you are about to open up a new door, a new can of worms, you're about to enter into some uncharted territory, that you're free and clear to do so, that you are protected, and that it is time. You may have spent the last 5 years being fairly pacifistic. He even talks about 7 years ago, something would have happened, and then you would have gone through a period of change for 2 years. Then the last 5 years, I don't want to say it made you pacifistic, but based on what you learned during that time, maybe it was best for you to be on the receiving end of things, to stick with the traditional structures of society, to work within the systems and learn how to navigate them. Okay, rightfully so, maybe so, but not anymore. You know, there is an opportunity here for you to walk through this new door, and it feels unscripted. It's like, I don't know what's on the other side of this. All I know, and this is you talking to yourself, is that I feel sort of excited about it, and I feel oddly capable, even though I have no idea what that means. Okay. And I think that what he wants you to focus on for a while is how capable you feel within yourself to trust yourself. There's a big difference between waiting on everything to be offered to you, waiting on a promotion, waiting on someone to come in and give you what you think you want or need, right? And just taking it, just going out into the world and creating it, and saying I have enough confidence in myself that no matter what happens, I can tap in with my skills, wisdom, abilities, right? And I can use what's in me. And some of this may be new, quite new. Okay. But he wants you to walk through that door. So if there's anything you've been hesitating on, or you're like, oh, I think it's time, da, 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 just know he's going to be with you on that journey. Very proud of you. Very proud. I feel like you're a lot like him in the way that you hold back for a while. He said, you keep your cards close to your vest. You have a way of holding back and being like, let me just kind of observe. You know, it reminds me of somebody playing chess and being like, I want to make sure I don't get myself in a defense position here. Like, I want to stay on offense. I want to, you know, but you could sometimes overthink it to such a point where you're not making any moves, and then it stops being fun. It stops being a game at all. It becomes far too serious. Okay. It was always a game. All right. Let's move on to Deanna Marie, Deanna Alt on YouTube. Deanna, thank you for your email. I am going to check it out on the face issue. I'm a little behind on everything this week because it's like tax week. But thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to do that because it hurts. What messages does my mother, Eileen, have for me today? Eileen, Mom, what do you have for Deanna? Because you're putting your money away. You're putting your money where your mouth is. You going to put your money where your mouth is? Huh. What is this? The next 3 weeks for you is going to present some opportunities for you to put your money where your mouth is. You have invested enough time into yourself, into your skill sets, into understanding other people, into relationship dynamics. Okay, meaning like boundary setting and keeping things healthy and like elevating yourself. You have put a lot of work into raising yourself up, deprogramming, centering yourself, right? Figuring out how to really live life from an authentic place. And now it's like, are you going to put your money where your mouth is? So with these new opportunities presenting to you over the course of, I would say ballpark the next 3 weeks, but she's also saying like a month and a half. So, and then what? 7 months? 7 months, it levels up. It all levels up, and it's up for tweaking, re-examination, pruning that plant so that flowers and fruit can grow at 7 months. Okay. I think it's time for you to invest. If you've been saying, I want this, I want that, this is who I am, this is who I'm becoming, this is what I want my day-to-day lifestyle to look like, this is where I want to be. Okay. It's almost like future self, future me, you know, like this vision board that you have. Let's see if you're ready to take those steps out in blind faith and create it when it's presented to you. Some of this seems to be a microphone being given to you, which is going to symbolize opportunity for you to speak, for you to be heard, for you to be seen in some capacity. This is also coming through a relationship of some type. So a relationship presenting to you as an opportunity to engage on a deeper level of intimacy. I don't feel like your mom's bringing up a sex talk with you. When I talk about intimacy, it's not really about that. Like, that's so the lowest level, okay, of what intimacy is, if it even registers at all. It's not that. It's about talking with someone in a way where you can be vulnerable, not necessarily comfortable, but vulnerable, okay? Expressing how you feel and expressing what you think and expressing where you've been or what you know, all right? And you may have had a long pattern with people, especially if it's anything romantic, where, you know, you're really walling that part of you out. You're more than happy, your mom says, to listen to others and to encourage them to share, to create an almost pseudo intimacy, but it's not technically intimacy until it's both, okay? Until you have shared something. So take that how it resonates. Those are her words, not mine. But I do think that, and I agree with her. I mean, I do, but I do think that you're having to re-examine what a blessing is in the next few weeks. You're having to re-examine what prosperity really is. So it's almost like you're reinventing who you are. You've been spending all this time, like we already discussed, on that, and now taking it up to the next level. It could feel a little bit like fish out of water for you. Like, I never thought of blessings or prosperity or intimacy in this way. You know, thank you so much for the heart hand thing on TikTok. You guys are the sweetest. And I feel good about that. Okay, so I'm very confident you'll move forward, but you feel like Alice. She shows you like Alice in Wonderland, when Alice went down the hole and was like, oh my, well, I never, you know, I didn't plan on this, but like, didn't you kind of decide to actively go down the hole? You know, and then she's like, well, I probably shouldn't eat this. And then she does it. She's super big or she's super small, or it's, you know, all of these little excursions chasing the white rabbit. And it's like, well, I never. And it's like, no, you totally did. Like, you totally wanted this. You planned this. You've been asking for a new adventure. So you're coming out as Alice. She's also giving a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it out, resonates, and watch for her in a dream tonight or tomorrow. She's giving one. Okay, she loves you. Thank you. Also, don't bite off more than you can chew and take care of your teeth. Kelsey Kean says, thank you, Mom. Thank you, Deanna. Kelsey Kean says, do I have any messages from past loved ones? Past loved ones for Kelsey? Who's here? A grandfather who was maybe, goddamn, diabetic, or like, I don't know what this is. What is this? Low blood sugar? Is that the same thing? I don't know. I have no like medical, I can't prescribe a diagnosis. But anyways, I got a guy coming in here and I am shaky as hell. My hands are shaking and I feel like I'm having trouble keeping my head straight and my tongue is starting to go numb. And I know that shortly after this, I'm going to like maybe black out. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't want to find out. So it's like I need my meds, or it's like I need my shot, or I need to deal with my sugar, you know? So, I mean, he seems to handle it fine. Of course, he may have denied it a lot, and that put him in some predicaments. But he's pretty funny. He's pretty lighthearted about things in life. He's pretty much like, it is what it is, and something bad happened. He just wants you to know something, you know, when something bad happens, because that's life and it always will. There'll always be some spoke in the wheel. He said, just make sure you just quickly get up and brush yourself off. I'm okay. I got it. You know, he was the type of gentleman who would like, you know, with you kids, you'd be like, you flew off your bike or you tripped or you were having a race, you were having fun, and all of a sudden now you're crying and you need a Band-Aid. It's like, get up. You're okay. You got this. Distract yourself with something else. Brush it off. Okay. So he wants you to know he keeps an eye on you and he's still working that way, okay, in your life. There's also talk of a birthday right around this time. Who to birthday? Red rose for a birthday, cake for a birthday, cupcake for a birthday. If that wasn't you, but that was one of you kids, give it out, okay, to them. But I do feel like you also have a memorial space in what looks like your living room and slightly to the right. So you may have pictures of your loved ones over there. I also feel like is this a statue or collectibles maybe? Coming from a grandmother. Looks like you have some of her things, and her ring was handed down. Okay. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. Her ring was handed down. You may be talking to them more lately. And I don't know if you just got a tarot deck or someone's gifting you this tarot deck. It could be both. Okay. It's probably both. But anyways, I feel like you're using your psychic abilities, or you're like learning the deck, the tradition of reading the deck and realizing that your mediumship is increasing. So they come through giving you messages, especially when you're toying around with the deck. I also feel like I have a male who passed before his time coming through here, keeping an eye on you. It feels like it was accidental. It was swift. It was quick. And it feels like no one really got a proper goodbye. There may have been a female who found him, a lack of closure. Okay. And so just know he also comes through giving songs, music. Yep. And there's talk of a maternal energy. So like mom type energy coming in here, talking about that, right now it's important for you to not, let's just say, for example, you feel like your money isn't exactly where you want it to be. And you're like, well, I'll just work harder. I'll just work like more hours. That's not always the solution. Okay. So it's almost like she's going to be guiding you through this process, making sure that you're not like working yourself to death to only break, even Steven, or come up, not empty handed, but come up pretty much the same. All right. It's a really important time for you to learn more about balance. Okay. And what other abilities you have to pull in resources instead of like working yourself to death and kind of treading. It's almost like treading water. Yeah, you got a lot of people around. A lot of their things, pictures, collectibles, their things are around your house. And this is just for everyone. When you want to connect with a deceased loved one, it can work really well to hold a photograph of them. It can also work even better to hold something like a piece of their jewelry, or a note that they once were, a birthday card. I mean, I don't care what it is. Okay. Piece of clothing. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. Something from them. You hold it in your left hand. This is your receiving side. It's called psychometry. You put the object in your left palm, close your eyes, and put your right hand over the top. You've seen this in every witchy movie that has ever been made. When the witch or the reader asked for an object. Okay. I'm thinking of, True Blood was the last time I remember seeing it, where Suki went to go talk to the witch lady, and she said, give me something personal of yours. And so she gave her necklace, and she put it in her left hand. Watch how you do that, right? You put it in your left hand, you close your eyes, put your right hand over it, and immediately it's like calling your loved one up on the phone. Okay. Toy with that more, Kelsey. Okay. So we're going to move on to another one. Maraid says, will I be able to take my EMT recertification test and apply for new jobs by the end of this month? I heard you're pushing it, girl. You're pushing it. Should she push it? They said, doesn't matter. What is this? Can I get an answer? Yeah, if you want to. I heard if you want to, but you're pushing it. Are you registered? Your guides are like calling you out on all this shit. Like, are you registered? Like they're treating it like a game, like a joke, like a question, like a riddle. You know what I mean? Which usually means you didn't register, or you waited till the last minute to register, or you're pushing your luck, or like, why do we have to do it within this time frame? Or like, where's the fire? Where's the rush? Which is funny because you're going to be an EMT. But yes, I think that you could. I also think that we're pushing it by like a matter of days or hours. Like we're clipping it real close between that third and fourth week. I I think it could also happen at about a month and a half out from now. So if you decide not to get it done right then, or for whatever reasons, because there are many hands in the pot here, okay? So I always call it a free will zone, too many hands in the pot, because a lot of people are involved and every person has free will. I do think that it would happen at about a month and a half. So either there or there. And I feel like there's a congratulations in order. So they just want you to know that they're proud of you for getting back on track. And this is coming really from your guides, as well as what feels like a grandfather who, I'm not saying your grandfather was an EMT, but what did he do? It's like taking my own blood pressure. It's like taking other people's blood pressure. I feel like he wanted to be more involved with this type of work, you know, not necessarily just in the medical field, but like emergency work. Now, he may have been in the military and he may have done this in some aspects. He was also a great cook. I'm not saying he was a chef, but I feel like he was a freaking phenomenal cook. You know, oh my God. I'm smelling like on the grill also, like steak and zucchini or some kind of squash, grilled squash. Like, give this man a little salt and olive oil, and I mean, he'll make something out of nothing. I mean, he was freaking amazing, right? They're really proud of you, and he's living a little vicariously through you, you know, on this journey. So expect to hear more from him. He's a bigger guy, you know, like kind of wider, like all the way around, bloop, you know, but quite tall, like a big, like solid guy. I think I lost track of what the question was. But anyways, yeah, you could, but you're pushing it. And I also feel like getting back to your guide's original message on your question, which was like, maybe this is a lesson for the future. You know what I mean? That like, you like to play almost like a little roulette with things. You like to push it to the last minute and then be like, it's a challenge. It's a game. You know, I want it to work out. I hope this thing works out. And that's fine. It keeps you motivated, but also, you know, if you really, really want things to work out in a timely manner in the future, give it a little bit more leg room, a little bit more leeway. Okay. Regardless, within the next 2 months, I do feel like you are going to be quite happy with your new position. Feels like a new old position, your new old position. Yeah, this really runs in your blood. Very interesting. Congratulations. Okay. Champagne for everyone. All right. Thank you, Maraid. We're going to move on to another one. Josie C6772. Hi, Ivy. What does my mother, Carol, want to say to me? Okay, Josie. Carol, what do you have for Josie today? What do you want to say to Josie? I love you. I love you. I love you. She said, if you don't hear anything else, I love you. And butterflies, monarch, blue, yellow, white. That looks like a moth to me. I think she's cheating. This big, hairy, you could comb this moth. It's ridiculous. It's like, let me get my hairbrush and help you out, brother. You know, it's like, dang. You may find yourself in some places this spring or summer where you're attracting some ridiculously huge moths, and maybe you're camping or it's like on your porch or something, but they're funny looking, and I feel like any winged animals she's claiming. Okay, but in particular the butterflies she's already like started sending you. I feel like I can't talk with her. Also, I do wonder if before her passing her speech was taken. I feel like my tongue is swollen. I feel like I can't swallow, and I'm starting to, from here to here, it's starting to go. It's going. I'm going. Shit. This is going to be the one. This is the one I lose my shit on. I feel like with her passing, it may be something you never fully get over. And you're not supposed to. Thank you, Ezzy. I love you too. I'm fine. I feel like you're not meant to get over this. And the areas in your life where you wish you had her, where you wish she could be there, you're allowed to feel grief. You're allowed to feel sad or like perpetually heavy, cheated even, pissed sometimes, whatever it is, you're allowed to feel that. That's not something you need to correct. It's not a part of your personality or your character that you need to improve upon. It's part of grief, and grief is sometimes something we take with us, we carry with us. It's not something to get past, okay? And it's cyclical, so it comes back around again and again like waves. But every time it comes back around, you handle it a little bit better. You learn something more about yourself, and I'm so proud of you for that. Because you are unlike other people where you don't like to shove it down. You like to say, what is this showing me? What can I learn from this? And at this stage in your life, how can I use this to help other people? Okay. This wisdom, this strength in processing grief, in carrying grief even. She also says that you're entering, okay, you're entering into a whole new phase in life where you're reliant more, I want to say, upon yourself. You've matured. You are paying attention to your higher mind, your gut instinct, your intuition. You're reliant upon yourself more than ever, not, mom or dad or employers or the government or a lover or shared income or whatever. You're reliant upon yourself for answers. She's so proud of you for that. But yeah, I feel like right around this time, it's been tough. It's been a hard couple weeks for you. Okay, so there could be like some type of anniversary going on around this time. And I do feel White Rose. She's pulling the thorns off, which is symbolic of not having a proper goodbye or a lack of closure. And this could have been because of her voice being taken a bit before. She went, take it how it resonates. She just wants you to know that she loves you. Be listening for her in the songs also. So not just butterflies, showing up everywhere, literally. Like alive or on social media or an emoji on your phone or whatever. And also flickering lights. She has been the flickering lights. If you've been questioning what the heck is that, or through tech and batteries. But what was the other thing? Oh, music. Which, any type? It's almost like nursery rhymes popping in your head, or children's songs, or songs from the past popping in your head, popping up on the radio. I think I'm hearing Billy Joel or something to that tune. Okay. And waking up to a song in your head and being like, what is that? And needing to Google it and listen to the lyrics because it's directional for you. Okay, so you wake up and you're like, I don't even know that song. Like, I know it. I could probably, you remember Shazam? Is Shazam still around? It's like I can find it, but I don't personally connect to that song. You're going to start waking up more and realizing a song was playing in your head. That's her giving you direction. Okay, she loves you very much. Kisses and hugs, kisses and hugs. We're going to move on to another one. Thank you, Carol and Josie. Okay, for Nicole. Nicole on YouTube says, any messages from Grandpa Rex or my Aunt Ruth? Grandpa Rex, Aunt Ruth. I don't know if she drank. Nicole. For Nicole, what do you guys have for her? I don't know if she drank, but I have her getting a little nutty. Getting a little, maybe it's like the second, I'm at the bottom of the second glass of wine, or I may go for a third here. And maybe it's just at Christmas or whatever, the holidays, but it's like she knew how to kind of spice things up a little bit, it's kind of like, I'm going to cut a rug over here. Let me get this down. She's fun. She's fun. I also feel like, as she got older, she, and her weight may have fluctuated significantly, possibly due to a health condition. And she may become kind of weak. I feel like in the hands and the bones and the joints, this could have been arthritic as well. I can't prescribe a diagnosis, but, as she got older, she may have seemed less fun, but she was still fun. Mentally, verbally, playing a play on words, always looking to have a cool conversation. And strategic. She said that you are like her in the way that you like to navigate challenges and new opportunities and not be like, oh, well, I've never done that, and so I'm worried, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to participate because it's not familiar. Grow, change, live a little. Why don't you? It's like you have an attitude of like, I'll try it. Let me just, we'll see what happens. If I mess up, then at least I learned something. But it's like, and I have your grandfather stepping in on this part of the message. You're entering into a period of time where you're being asked to redo something that maybe you did try in the past and didn't succeed. Maybe you did make a mistake or it failed or it just wasn't the right time. Okay. But regardless, it feels like new opportunities are coming in. There's talk of 3 to 5 weeks. Could this be months? It could. Take it out, resonates. But it's like these new opportunities are coming in, and some of them are like from the past. And so are you going to buckle? Are you going to like let the pressure hold you down and hold you back? Or are you going to be like, I'll try again? Because the bottom line is this: you learned the first time some tricks, right? You got some tricks up your sleeve now. You've got some new tools. And I think some things that didn't work out the first time really are back around because it is a timing thing. And we don't control timing. We often like to be like, well, I checked off all the boxes, and so now here comes the delivery, and it doesn't work that way. It's like I checked off all the boxes, and here comes the delivery, and oop, it went right back up on a shelf. And 3 years later, here it is again. Weird. Why did that happen? Because we don't control time. Okay. The universe does. And so, it's back around again. I do think you could also be having some tough conversations with a person. This could be romantic, but you could be having some tough conversations about whether or not it's balanced. And that's really important that you're not overreaching at this time. They're really proud of you. They want to see you move forward. Be fearless. Stay fearless. Always have been. Always will be. Don't forget that part of your personality. It's very childlike to be that way. And it's really going to benefit you. I feel like financially as well. They're also telling you that you have the engineer's mind, which is understanding how systems fit together. This can also make you musically inclined and highly intuitive, and you get it from them. So keep toying with that, okay? They love you very much. Thank you, Grandpa and Ruth, Aunt Ruth, and Nicole. Moving on to Janet G. Messages from my dog, Leo, for Janet G. Leo, the dog. Leo, what do you have to say for Janet? Leo's very excited. Leo may also be one of these dogs. I mean, he's coming through smaller. Take it out resonates where he either thinks he's huge and he's smaller. He's small, he thinks he's huge. So, it's like a vice versa on my size. I'm unaware of my size. Very excited coming in here and immediately laying on your feet and ankles. Now, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but if you need to be careful right now with your feet, your arches, your ankles, your bones, your joints. And if you've had any swelling or pain where it's like, sometimes you just need to be like, look, I just need to put my feet up. Okay. It's not that deep a message. I need to make sure it doesn't turn into anything crazy or something I have to manage. Okay. And if I'm preventative, brilliant. So Leo comes in, sitting on your ankles, your feet, the bottom of your legs. And I feel like this was always sort of a favorite spot, but I also feel like he's bringing some healing to those parts of your body. And that's what our animals do for us. They heal. We even know that like cat purrs, for example, like the NFL has this like whole machine that they'll put on your body, right? Or the, whatever, like cat purrs are known scientifically to bring healing. But I think that it's almost like a call to action to pay attention to me in your dreams. Now, I do wonder if one of these already happened and there's another one coming up, but it's like progressive. This is a very intelligent dog. You had a dream recently where you saw Leo, okay? So he says like, I pulled this off, like he's proud of himself. I pulled this off. You saw me, but I don't think you pet him. He may have been passing through. Now, what he's trying to do is create another dream where you actually get to either sit next to each other or you get to pet him. This is extremely rare. And if this happens, I want to know, like literally, reach out to me right away. Let me know if he pulls this off, because it takes an insane amount of energy. and skill to control the body in such a way, or the energy field in such a way, where we actually get to like hug someone or we get to pet this animal. It's usually just in passing. So he's working on that with you. He also said that you have a memorial space for him. And I feel like I'm in the living room slightly to the left. This could be like ashes. This could be like a paw print for sure. I feel like pictures. And just keep talking to him. Just keep talking to him. He's so freaking excited to see you. It's just hilarious. The way he comes jumping in here, oblivious to his size, and immediately sitting on your feet and ankles. Immediately. You'll feel him in bed that way too. Okay. Yeah, right on the legs. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Janet. We're gonna move on to another one. Leo is a tiny little dude. Okay. Maybe he thinks he's bigger. He came in looking real small to me, but he seems to think he's I don't know, like Cujo size, you know. Yeah, you like him? As he's in here squawking down here. Yeah, you like him? You guys gonna hang out? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You like Leo? You got a lot to say. You got a lot to say on this one. My goodness, my goodness. She likes when the animal spirits come in here. Is that fun? Is that fun? You have somebody to play with? Okay. Josie said, yeah, thank you so much for the beautiful reading, Ivy. You're so welcome, Josie. Thank you for being here. We have any more coming in? Christina said, I feel like I'm being pushed out of my job. Well, let's see what's going on. Very interesting. Old T. Christina, I feel like I'm being pushed out of my job by the owners. Also feel it's my time to move on soon. I was going to say that to you, so we'll get into it. Okay. It's an eerie feeling, yet could be freeing, but the unknown of finding something new is daunting. Mm-hmm. Is that the end? Anything from my guides? Okay, well, we're going to take from your guides and anyone else who wants to come in here. You do have a gentleman coming in who feels like paternal energy, talking about your money and what you've put away. So it's very possible that this place has sort of cut you off from having the type of savings, investment opportunities, you know, resources in general that you want. Limited, he said, limited or limiting for you. So all that glitters is not gold. Security for you could be a hindrance. And he wants to see more stacks of cash in your safe, okay, or in your bank, or in the books buried in the basement walls, or whatever, right? He wants to see more going away so you have more to toy with in the future. I think that what I was getting psychically and what your guides are talking about here, in particular, your joy guide who watches over your mental and emotional well-being, and your work and money guide, yes, of course, but like your relationship guide steps up, which is really interesting because this is about people. Okay. This is about literally the people you're mentioning. I think that they are trying to get rid of you. And I think that it is also time for you to go, because the instant reaction and messages that started coming through before I was even able to finish your question was about how bigger picture thinking needs to be applied here. You have to know when it's time to leave the party. Never be the last one to leave the party. Know when it's time. Have you ever gone to the club, or you ever gone to the bar, or you ever gone to you go to a house party and it's like everything's fun for a few hours and then a lull sets in? Reminds me of an Appalachia where everything gets quiet, or you're out in the woods and everything gets quiet, right? And a storm is about to hit, or there's something evil, something wicked this way comes, everything gets silent. You ever have that happen when you're at like a party or in the club, right? And it's like, let's get the hell out of here. And some crazy shit goes down within minutes, right? That's what it is. It's knowing how to read the room. It's knowing how to read timing, and divine timing in this case, right? Intuition. So everything's getting real quiet here for a reason. It's getting real tense. It's time. Wrap it up. Take that last shot and hit the road, okay? It is about knowing also at this particular place when to jump ship, because they have other problems going on, which I'm not going to have time to get into today, but they do. And I think that for you, it's been a long time coming, the last 2 years, 9 months in particular. It's been quite intense, where you know you're meant to do more. Okay, so you know that you're meant to express yourself more, use more of your creativity, your organizational powers. I heard powers of persuasion, which can mean that you are skilled, can sell, catch a popsicle to a lady in white gloves. You can sell yourself or product, or teach, train, lead others, right? Your words are heard and powerful and accepted. But in this little cubicle of a space where you've been symbolically, right, at this old job, like none of that could really come to full fruition. So yeah, it's definitely time. It's definitely time. Look in these other avenues and don't be afraid. Okay, don't be afraid, because the only thing you should fear at this point is staying in something stagnant. They love you very much. Okay, thank you very much. And thank you also, Christine. Edgar, what messages do they have for me regarding using my intuitive intelligence as a therapist with my clients? Edgar, any messages on how to use intuition as a therapist? Well, I heard keep a separate notebook and time the minutes, or keep a notebook on time. Okay. Keep a separate notebook that has to do with your intuitive hits during sessions with your clients, for example. And pay attention to the timelines they're in. And examine how things come together when you thought they would, or thought they might, or hope that they would. And where there is a lack of progress and things simply don't come together. Okay. And then use your intuition again to do a deep dive on what else we need to know to make it come together. There's also some talk here of grief therapy. So incorporating your clients' spirit messages for them. Like essentially, and this is just a good example, you know, use one of my psychic mediumship students, like the way I give readings, not here, obviously, this is one very specific type of show, but when I do a general reading, I'm pulling from a few different places. And it's a holistic experience. My own knowledge, my psychic ability, empathic ability, whatever, right? And then spirit. The most powerful messages that are going to come through are going to come from spirit, typically. And when spirit comes through for your client, it could require, obviously, you have a third notebook even, or a second notebook, whatever, right? You got their therapy notebook, you got, you know, your intuitive hits notebook and directions and timelines, and then you got this mediumship thing going on. When spirit comes through, this could happen at any time. It's not always orderly. Mediumship is not orderly. It happens when it wants to happen. We don't control spirit. We're along for the ride. So knowing how to get those messages from spirit and jot it down and apply it appropriately, but spirit may end up giving you the most healing direction on what that client needs and exposing things that you would have overlooked. Toxic family. You know, a lot of people are in therapy not because there was anything really wrong with them necessarily, but their family is so freaking abusive or toxic or neglectful that it puts them in therapy. You understand? Like, I know you understand. So a lot of the messages that come through might be about that type of thing. Anyways, yeah, very interesting, fun. 3 separate notebooks. 3 separate notebooks, 1 fabulous skill, okay? And that is healing, healing, healing. Okay, Anna Pekka, a general reading for Anna Pekka. Anna Pekka. What message wants to come through for Anna? Get a monkey off your back. It's like a monkey on your back. If you have someone trying to come in, this is kind of gross, but like I have somebody trying to come in and give you a hickey. I would knock him out, okay? We can all get tied up in the heat of the moment. And there is something about that is hot. But if you know damn well I have to go to work and my blouses come down low or whatever, right? We've all been guilty of this. I don't know why this is so funny, because it really isn't. And it came through as a monkey on your back. So this person is clearly like stressing you out. What is this? This is like someone pressuring you. It's like, get off me. It's like, get away from me. I think that you could have someone coming into your space or trying to come back into your space who does things to you that is the equivalent of like marking my territory. Like, what are you, an animal? You know what I mean? Like marking the territory. You can't walk around with a big purple hickey on your neck and like not look taken. Okay, there's no way. You look taken. Okay, you look like a big old hoe. It's not a good look. It's unprofessional. It's tacky. Okay, but it is something people do to make sure you can't sort of get away from them, right? It's the equivalent of like baby trapping, or marriage. I think that you could be dealing with someone who is energetically right now, and this is coming from your protector guide and your relationship guide. You're dealing with someone who's got their hooks in you, and it's like a cord. I'm pulling and tugging at your energy. I'm consuming your thoughts. I keep popping back into your head. And I want to make sure no one else can get you, can take you. I heard take you away from me. Wow, this person's nuts, right? Like, this is some delusional shit right here. This just, you know what? I have a class up on my website called Relationships, Boundaries, and Cord Cutting. If you have your own style of doing a cord cutting, do a cord cutting. If you've already done a cord cutting from this person, it's not working, take my class. Because this may be one of those people where you have to renew a cord cutting ceremony every few weeks because they keep reattaching. And it's not to say that you're powerless, not at all. It's just to say that sometimes it can take repetition to make clear to this person that they are not allowed to come into your energetic field and be a menace. Okay? Be a leech, be a mooch, be delusional. I mean, he could go be delusional over there. It doesn't have to affect you. It really doesn't. Okay? So just keep cutting that cord. But this person thinks that you are theirs and doesn't want you to be able to get picked up by anyone else and get a hickey by that other person. Like, they don't want it to happen. I get lighter hair, light eyes, bigger and through the shoulders. Talks like I think I'm suave. I talk like I think I'm funny. I talk like I think I have charm. I talk like I think I'm clever, or, and it's really like, yeah, you're nuts. You're saying something all right. He never shuts up. I mean, this guy never shuts up. It's like, you'll be lucky to get a word in edgewise, which just also goes to show it's not really about you. He's talking at you. It's about how you make him feel. It's about getting your attention. It's about draining your energy. All eyes on me, all eyes on me. It's like, dude, calm down. He can't calm down because he's hustling. He's hustling, right? My God, it's obnoxious. Yeah, the monkey on your back. And it was funny to see the monkey on your back, because it was like, well, those little monkeys we have when we were kids in the 80s, you wind them up and they're like ding, 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 ding. A bongo monkey, he's like, ugh. Not to offend the Geminis, and I have like seven Gemini placements, but I have to be honest, he may be a Gemini. Like, he may have a lot of Gemini placements, or he may be like, you know what I mean? Like an unaware Gemini can be one of the most annoying things on the face of the earth. I can't with my own self. Anyways, all right. So cut that cord, clear that out. All right. Thank you, Anna. We're going to move on to another one. It's for Tanya Rivera. Hi, Ivy. What message does Spirit have for me regarding the launch of my new coaching programs and podcast for blended families and women who are burnt out? Okay, leave that up for a minute, Kim. Side are you on? Are we reversing this, or what? Were you both? Okay. You have a bunch of people coming through here, family members, grandmother, mom's side, grandfather, mom's side, an aunt, dad's side, a male who passed a bit before his time. I think dad's side, but he put himself in the middle. That can mean he's not blood relation. Keeping an eye on you, the aunt in particular, feeling almost like a cousin, maybe age, personality wise, you guys are sort of energetically the same. And let me reread this question. What message do you guys have for her regarding the launch of her new coaching? We're just going to write coaching programs. Okay. Oh, and podcast for blended families and women who are burnout. Okay. Messages. Any messages on this for Tanya? Another Rivera. Love it. Okay. Any messages on it? I think with the podcast, I heard be very realistic that it needs to be organized. So all of them being proud of you, all of them being present to give you advice as you go forward, different days, different things, different careers. You may have on this podcast, like a lot of people talking about careers, career opportunity, career advancement, getting out of the grind, getting out of the capitalistic structures to invest more in like life contract, meaningful work, actual fulfillment. What am I here on earth to do? Okay. Most people are burnout because they're not doing what they came here to do. Doing what you came here to do, I don't care how bad your life is from time to time, because that'll happen in life. Hardship can occur, but you're never like burnt out in that way. Like you're just not. It's impossible. Because the work that you do every day is fulfilling. It fills your cup. Okay? So you may be talking a lot about that. Now, the information about the podcast comes up here really first, where it's like, make sure it's structured. If you've ever listened to a podcast where it's like people just sort of babbling and there are a lot of jokes, it's hard to follow. It's a little all over the place. It just seems like disorganized. It's, they're horrible. I can't. And then maybe your podcasts are doing better on replay. So if you're on like, I don't know what it's called. My assistants would know better. Kim is one of my assistants. She might know better, the producer tonight here. But like, I don't even know what the hell I'm on, honestly. But anyways, I'm everywhere a podcast can go, right? Sometimes you want to make sure that your podcasts are going up in all these different locations. And you may find that people are listening to the replay far more than they're tuning in, and that you want to take those replays and, I don't know, it's almost like cut them up into smaller bite-sized pieces, and address new audiences through that. Okay. Or expand upon your audience through that, especially old audiences you were debating on reaching out to or targeting, that may be coming around again. And young people or kids or like teenagers or tweens, it's like that's an audience within itself. Tools for development, tools for getting along, 12-step program, 4 steps, 3 tips, 5 tips on how to get along with like a teenager. It's like, or as a teenager, there are all these bite-sized pieces that you should be giving out. So don't think of everything on such a large scale, and allow, when you give bite-sized pieces of guidance and advice, allow for the communications about, make sure there's some way for them to communicate. Like if they have a comment section, and check it regularly, right? One of the biggest mistakes I ever made with my businesses was having what do you call them? People who handled my social media. I did that for years. I had people handling my social media. And so I never got to see what was going on in the comment sections. And while I was working so hard, that needed to happen. At the same time, I was happy to get rid of my whatever, right? And take it back over myself, because then I knew I could take a certain comment or a question and I could turn that into an entire live, a new podcast, right? A new video, a new class. So pay very, very close attention to your comment sections, they're saying, or whatever feedback you're getting, okay? And it seems like it takes on a life form of its own, basically, in a nutshell. Yeah, takes on a life form of its own. So your social media clearly, but this is huge, huge. Wow. Fun. All right, kudos. They love you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit, on that as well. And are we going to move on to another one? How are we doing? Okay, Deborah. Deborah wants to know, this is Deborah Rose 9362. Okay, so we are going to do last call. So anyone who wanted to drop a $10 donation to receive a message, or drop a $10 donation to ask a specific question of spirit, and this is all spirits, guides, angels, deceased loved ones, pets, anything goes, you're going to want to do so at this time. This is last call. Also, if you've been watching and you're like, I'd like to do this, but I'd rather do it privately, you can. So go onto my website. I do work internationally too. Any type of reading you want to book, okay, you guys can do that. Go onto the website, ivyrivera.psychicmedium.com, and click on Spirit Message. So Deborah said, am I in the correct profession? Okay. So what message does Spirit have on this? No, it does feel like you're off base. I think that what you're supposed to be doing is making sure that you can control the time clock a bit more. What exactly you're offering, okay, the schedule, the product that you're offering. And you may say, oh, well, I do a fair amount of that, but it can be taken to a heightened degree, like a heightened level. It can. And it seems like where you are right now, you're very much within some systems that are debilitating. They're limited. It's capped. It just is, right? So it can sometimes feel like a prison for you. And you're like, well, I hate to think that way because I also feel blessed in this. That's fine. We can have nuance. We can have duality. That's fine. But when I look at your life contract, and when spirit, your guides primarily step in here, it feels like what's happening is that this is draining you. And that's the biggest problem. Your guardian angel also steps in here today. Your guardian angel is watching over your well-being, your mental and emotional well-being, right? Your energy levels. It just feels like this is draining you, sort of sucking the life out of you. It also stole your circumference. What the hell is circumference? What is that? Your compass? Circumference. What is this? Around you? It's like I can't get out of here. It's like I can't see. It's like I can't see. Your compass. Where am I going? Where am I going? It stole my compass. You know, all that glitters is not gold. And sometimes having a certain level of stability within your career can cause that problem where it's like, I lost sight of where I was supposed to be going because I was okay here. You know, the pay was all right. I have medical, you know, I can't complain. And so it's like, well, that's not the point of coming to Earth though, and doing work. You're supposed to come here and you're supposed to constantly evolve and expand and be passionate about the work you're doing. There's supposed to be a level of fulfillment. You're supposed to be using all of your tools and your skills, right? Your genius, your creativity. It's not about a paycheck. It's not supposed to be about dental, okay, and paying the mortgage. It's not supposed to be that. So in a way, you're going through a period of time right now where you're supposed to be deprogramming through all of that mentality that keeps you trapped, and steal your compass back, okay? This idea of you being able to also travel more, because whatever new work this is that you're looking at doing. And it feels like, again, all the things I mentioned earlier, but also kind of like business, independent contracting, entrepreneurship. It is going to allow you to travel more. So this can also suggest that you want to expand more in regards to adventure and play. And that's not something, that has necessarily been a passion for you recently. That's not to say that you don't take annual vacations, but it's like, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking more about like Europe and Peru, or like going into these sort of shamanic journeys in different places. And I'm going into the, jungle. I'm looking at the pyramids, and this is like, what is this, Mayan territory? I don't know where you're going, but anyways, it's like you have all these other things that you're going to be ignited, you're going to be passionate, to explore, because you're doing the right work. So that also leads to a lot of personal and spiritual development for you. So yeah, off base a bit here for sure, but it's this primarily idea of drainage that is the most concerning, I want to say, to your guides and your angels right now. Work should not be drainage. No. All right, we are going to move on to another one. Anna Teresa. Ivy, you got it exactly right. I feel him. Okay, so Anna is giving some feedback on the creepy monkey on the back, hickey giving weirdo who thinks he owns her. Let's read this testimony here. You can't make this shit up. Ivy, you got it exactly right. I feel him energetically, and he's been reaching out, in all forms, though I'm not responding. Charm is his go-to. He really thinks he's charming. He really does. He doesn't know how creepy he comes off. I did a cord cutting, but we'll do another. Keep doing them. Keep doing them. And this is for anyone who finds that someone is repeatedly reconnecting to their energy. Stalkers, and apparently this person is in the literal sense and energetically, right? Stalkers who don't know how to take no as an answer, they will constantly come through astral travel. They'll show up in your dreams. They're telepathically sending you messages. They're constantly radiating that energy out to you and pulling and tugging at your energy, attempting to reattach cords. And that means that even though you may have done a great job with a cord cutting, you may be doing a great job, Anna, in saying no by not responding to him or his fake accounts, right? You can do all the right things, and a person who is determined to stay connected to your energy will still energetically be reattaching. And so what do? Repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, cleanse that out, repeat, repeat, repeat. Okay, eventually he's gonna starve because he's not getting he's not getting fed off of it. And hopefully he'll go attach, I don't know, to someone else or figure himself out or fall off, right? Thank you for the testimony. I'm sorry you're going through that. Oh, these creepy hands too. All right, let's move on. Do we have any other ones coming in? Okay, we're at time. Deborah Rose 9362 said, thank you. I just don't know which way to go. That's the compass. Yeah. Well, if you guys are confused, and this is for Deborah, for everybody, if you want to know what's within your life contract, book a life contract reading with me. It takes an hour, but we're going to go through all your pivotal points. You get 5 to 6 of these level up opportunities in life, and it's about the work you signed on to do before you came to Earth. A lot of people are confused because in a capitalistic society, we're told to do whatever's going to make us cash. And in a life contract, which is what the universe supports, it can be the polar opposite of that. Not money per se, but that work itself. So it's confusing. My life contract readings are automatically going to match your Vedic and Western astrology chart and your numerology chart. I've been testing it out for over 16 years. So they're all identical, meaning this is your purpose. No matter where you look, you're going to find it. Okay. But we are invisible to it, especially in modern day capitalistic society. We are going to move on. Do we have any other ones coming through? Any other feedback? Any other questions? Okay. I think we are at time. Is that accurate, Kim? Again, I will see you guys back here for what is Wednesday. Wednesday is my test show. So I'm testing out a brand new show on Wednesday. I hope to see you guys. If you give it high engagement, I will add it to the 2026 show lineup. It's called Something Unexpected is Coming Your Way. I'm going to tell you what it is and when it's going to hit. Could be good, could be, I don't know. I don't know. I've never done that show. That's why it's a test show. Okay, hence test. But I'm going to tell you whatever is coming that you don't see coming and when. And then on, I think it's Thursday, I'm back for Coffee with Your Angels. You guys absolutely love this show. You could start getting your early questions in now for that. Coffee with Your Angels is where I deliver out to you whatever is the most important healing message for you to hear at this time. So you could just openly receive, or you can ask specific questions you have about different areas of your life where you're seeking healing. Okay, so start getting your early questions in now for that. I will see you guys back here on Wednesday. In the meantime, if you need to book a reading with me, go to Ivy Rivera, psychicmedium.com. I do work internationally. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Spirit. See you guys next time.